What's good, everyone? Welcome back for another showcase and session. Today we're going to be testing out a joint forces team led by the LR Blue Boys. Now, I had a conversation with Nolar over the weekend on this particular setup against the Legendary Goku event GT Edition, and since I was fortunate enough to pull my second dupe finally for the Blue Boys, I decided I would run this back and test out how a potential joint forces team would do against the GT version of the Legendary Goku event. Obviously, there's a couple of different parameters and skill sets that you kind of have to think about running through the event or whatnot, but just so you guys know, I did speed up the video by about 30%. I didn't want it dragging out too long, so if it comes across a little bit too fast, that's basically the reason why. So let me go ahead and start off by just breaking down the unit settings for each of my guys. So basically, the potential levels and whatnot. So I'll start with the leader, which is the LR Blue Boys. I have him finally at 79%. And in terms of like the skill sets, they've got level 17 for additional attack and level 13 for crits. Even though, a little bit more focus on additionals would have been fine because of the built-in skill sets. But they do have level 10 links across the board, so just keep that in mind. The second one, I guess we can talk about the physical type LR Golden Frieza and the 17 unit. I have them at 1 dupe, level 8 additionals, and level 9 for crits. And again, once I go through all the potential levels for each of my units, I'll talk about details about the unit themselves. Those guys are also level 10 as well. And then MVP 17, I got extremely lucky during the 6-year anniversary, and this guy's at 90% and does have level 12 additionals, level 13 crits, and just has level 5 for evasion. Also level 10 links across the board. I do also have the EZA Gold LR, Goku and Frieza unit. They only got 1 dupe, so at 69%, they're at level 11 for additionals and level 8 for crits. And they're actually not maxed out on link levels. They're kind of in the 8-9 link level ranges. The next one is the Strength Super Vegito unit. I have them at 90%. They've got level 15 additionals, level 14 for crits. I actually gave these guys level 3 toward dodge, just from potentially dodging but still being able to counter the enemy. And they're also level 10 across the board. Lastly, I did include the free-to-play Roshi and Tien unit. In my opinion, they're extremely good units on their relevant category setups, but they're at 100%. They've got level 15 for additionals and level 11 for crits, and they're also level 10 links across the board. So just kind of break down the rotations that I went with. The first rotation, starting off the battle, I included the LR Blue Boys linked up with the free-to-play Roshi and Tien, just because it's a little bit easier to pull off the 18-key super attack with those guys on the rotation together, and it does kind of bring me to the point that sometimes you will run into key issues, especially for the LRs to be able to get the 18-key super. So it's not the most optimal of builds, but it's certainly acceptable in terms of like how they performed overall. I mean, the fact that you're able to clear the event itself tells you, they're decent to a degree. So with that being said, let's just talk about the skill sets for each of these units. So I guess what I can do is start off with, of course, the leaders, which is the LR Blue Boys. Formal name is Super Saiyan God SS Goku Kaioken and Super Saiyan God SS Evolved Vegeta. Obviously a very long name, so it's always good to kind of compress it into a nickname. But again, they are the Joint Forces category lead. Even though they are, they're not providing, the 170 boost toward attack or whatever. It's 150% across the board for, HP attack and defense, along with the key +3. But the super attack will greatly raise attack and defense in 1 turn and causes colossal damage to the enemy, and also lowers attack. So the lowering attack definitely does help in terms of like the early parts of the battle where you're actually able to, if I'm not mistaken. In terms of the 18-key super attack, greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes mega colossal damage to the enemy, and also lowers attack and defense. Now the passive skill is definitely interesting for this unit. Attack and defense increases 70% as a base standpoint, plus an additional attack and defense increased by 7% for key sphere obtained, chance of performing a critical hit plus 7%, and then key plus 2 and launches an additional attack up to 3 additional attacks within the turn per rainbow key sphere obtained. So obviously it's more of a nuking format where not only does your attack and defense increase, but your critical hit chance and your key boost as well, and chances of performing an additional attack does as well. So, I mean, I guess, you know, with that being said, of course, these guys are very, very key hungry, but it is what it is, and that's all there is to say about it. Now, they also do have an active skill, but I didn't actually use it in this run. I didn't necessarily have, like, an opportunity to, because in order to utilize it, you have to actually have HP at 50% or less, and in this case it's a little bit difficult considering how much damage the enemy can apply in certain settings. So just to avoid like potential risk of being KO'd, I ended up, you know, kind of not having the chance to do it. But in terms of like the actual effect for that active skill, it's key plus 24, and then attack increases 70%, and then defense will go down by 50%. So again, you can kind of understand where I'm coming from in terms of, even though you get, you know, pretty much a key filled up and attack boost of 70%, which is a pretty substantial amount, you're facing a defense decrease of 50%. So it could be a potential liability issue in a setting like this. Let's move on to the free-to-play, since we were just talking about the Roshi and Tien. Again, in my opinion, very, very good units. I would definitely grind it out if you're a global player coming up with the 6-year anniversary. Grind these units up, get the easy A, go through the link level system, because at level 10 they perform very, very well. And in terms of like the skill sets, I'll bypass the leader skill, but super attack causes supreme damage to enemy, lowers attack and defense, and also seals super attack. So you can imagine how beneficial this unit would be for other allies like LR Goku and Frieza, you know, where their secondary passive is dependent on status effects on the enemy. And then for the passive skill, it's an attack and defense increase of 70%, plus an additional attack and defense plus 20% with each attack received, up to 70%. And then representatives of Universe 7 category allies get key plus 3, and attack and defense increase of 40%. I don't know if I did talk about this, but I did pair these guys up early on, but I switched over to the Strength Super Vegito after his transformation takes effect, and linked them up with the LR Blue Boys, because for obvious reasons Vegito's able to counter, and you can kind of maximize the damage per rotation with the super attack in addition to that. So that's kind of the format with one rotation. The second rotation I had as an offset is basically the Android 17 setup. So one is, you know, obviously the intelligence Android 17, and the other counterpart, it's the Golden Frieza and 17. But the end version of 17, it's a nuking type unit as well. But you know, super attack for the 12 key greatly raises attack for 1 turn and causes colossal damage to enemy, and also raises allies' defense by 30% for 1 turn. So beneficial in that regard. And then for the 18 key, causes mega colossal damage to enemy and raises allies' defense by 30%. And then chance of performing a critical hit by 7%, increased by 7% for 1 turn. And then again, the passive skill, you do get a base of attack and defense increase of 70%, but you get an additional attack and defense increase of 70% when there's 5 or more representatives of Universe 7 category allies on the team. And then plus an additional attack increase of 70% when key is 22 or more. And then key plus 2 in addition per rainbow key sphere obtained, and then chance of performing a critical hit does also increase by 7% for every rainbow key sphere obtained. So a lot of built-in you know, skill sets around it. So a little bit key hungry with this unit as well. But this unit does also have an active skill where it does greatly raise attack temporarily, causes ultimate damage to enemy, and all allies key plus 7 for 1 turn. So I did kind of reserve this for the very end. You will see it pulled off to KO the enemy, but I don't know. I just wanted to finish it off with this guy's active skill, since it is like the entire Universe 7 squad. And then the ally or linking buddy for that unit is the Golden Frieza and 17. Just on a high level, super attack greatly raises attack for 1 turn and causes colossal damage to enemy. 18 key will raise attack for 1 turn and causes mega colossal damage, and also lowers attack and defense. And just on a high level, this guy is able to build up ki with basically with each attack performed. You can get a max of 7. Also does get like an attack and defense boost as well, up to 70%, and has ability for additional attacks as well. So great linking partner for this unit. Also a unit with active skill, ki plus 7, defense increase to 77%, and performs a critical hit for 1 turn. So definitely a worthwhile unit to use on that regard. Now, I don't really need to talk about the strength of Vegito, I guess, because, you know, at this point everybody knows about the unit, but you know, these guys link okay with the blue boys, and, you know, just to maximize the damage mitigation and attack, you know, per turn, basically, I you know, toward the end of the battle, I link these guys up together. But the nice little thing about this unit is, you know, obviously recovers HP, you know, with the transformation, has tremendous countering abilities, plus, like, you know, the super attack themselves are very, very effective. So, you know, all those kind of key, you know, play into a key factor of just making sure you're able to get through the battle as you know, as well as possible. So I don't think I need to go into like details behind it, but my overall impression of this particular team build is, yes, you are going to run into key issues, just the way these units are. You got to understand there's a lot of LRs included, but a lot of these guys are also very key hungry, where, you know, maximizing their passive skill sets is dependent on, you know, how much ki they acquire per rotation. So in that regard, yes, it's a little bit of an issue when it comes down to that. But I think overall they perform pretty well. I mean, for the most part, you know, at least one of them were able to get the 18 ki super attack, and in this case you're able to see at least the 2 units you know, get the 18 ki as well. The only reason why the other unit probably didn't get the 18 ki is because I obviously had to kind of put Vegito first and my blue boys in the second slot, basically, in order to mitigate damage, essentially. But the Roshi and Tien free-to-play units, and I'll do a showcase on all the free-to-play units coming up for you guys on the global side, but they're exceptionally good for a celebration. The way they rolled out the free-to-play units was pretty tremendous. All of them are very good in their own way, and in my opinion, it's worthwhile to go through the link skill leveling for all those units, because they are going to tremendously benefit your team in terms of like a more specific Universe 7 or even a Universe Survival Saga, or, you know, stuff of that nature, where, you know, the characters are relevant to certain categories. But they really did allow for the free-to-play type players to be able to benefit from a lot of the units that did release during that period. And, you know, I didn't even include but I didn't even talk about the LR Roshi unit that's, you know, going to be easily putting out 5 million in attack stats and, you know, whatnot on a regular basis. But that guy's completely free to play as well. So a lot of good units came out during the anniversary. So I know Global is going through the countdown, and within days of the celebration actually going live. So you guys have a lot to look forward to, and it's a really, really nice period of time for obvious reasons. But yeah, again, you know, this isn't the perfect team by any means, but I really did kind of want to show you off the team itself, because a lot of the units on here are related to the 6-year anniversary. But I did include the LR Super Vegito as well, just to provide you a different way to kind of look at the numbers a little bit. All right, so we'll finish things off with the int version of Universe 7 Squad's active skill, and you guys can kind of enjoy the you know, the perfect ending for this run, so to speak. But hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I certainly do appreciate you guys checking out the video every time. And if you're new, certainly hit the subscribe button if you plan to stick around for a little bit. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys now, and expect a lot more videos coming out the rest of the week. All right, I'm out of here. Peace out.
攻撃するしかない。